Anand, I think the screen is visible. Huh?
Yeah, screen is visible now.
Be blessed by the divine. Be blessed by the divine. Good morning, everybody. Today the topic will be Ash. What is required for indispensable? What is indispensable for spiritual progress? Okay, we all will just think through this short session. What is this? First, let us understand what are these words actually. What is indispensable? What is indispensable as per the English dictionary or explanation? Indispensable is something which is absolutely necessary or vital or which is crucial. We all know this, the meaning of indispensable. And then spiritual, spirit. I think before we joined Vedatriya, this is one of the most, I will say that not properly understood word, spirituality, even though there are a lot of confusing explanations. I will not say confusing, I should not say. There are a lot of explanations going around for spirituality, spirit from time immemorial. And our great Mahan, our Guru Maharishi, he has explained very simply what is spirituality. Okay. What is spirituality, which means the understanding of soul, spirit, soul within us. So the skies practitioners, all our practitioners, they understood clearly what is Maharishi explanation about spirituality. And he has clarified this to all of us. And then next word is progress. So what is the meaning of progress? Progress is, it can be defined as onward movement, or we are making advancement, or we are making headway towards something. So this is the literal meaning of progress. Okay. So let us think about something. So we individuals who are following the sky practices, this is due to the awakening of spirituality within us. By means of some friends, actually, I got introduced into this after my wife started going through a friend of hers. So it is like somebody is they have awakened the spirituality in us, so that we are following the sky practices. So after following these sky practices, we all know that how we are adapting our mode of life or mode of living towards the achievement of something. So Maharishi, what he says is the purpose of life. We all have to. We are all born in the world to achieve the purpose of life. So when I joined first the class by Muthu sir, so when he asked the question, what is the purpose of life? I think there were about 20, 30 people. We all gave different answers. Somebody said that amassing wealth. Somebody said becoming head of some company. Yeah, we all had different purposes of life. When he explained about Maharishi's concept, what is purpose of life, then we understood that we are all these materialistic things are yes needed for the ours, but there is something much more than this, which is self-realization or God realization. That is the purpose of our life. Okay. So then we understood, when we understood the purpose of life, we started adapting ourselves by doing the sky practices in order to achieve this one. So we all know that we are living in a society and we are surrounded by people, either at home or at work or when we travel in train or bus or road, when we drive in the road, on the road. Nothing is, we are not individualistic. So we are surrounded by people, by society. So it's always possible that what I think, the others need not think the same, or what I say, the others need not follow. This is true for we spend a lot of time at home, so this is true within our family members also. Like I may have an opinion, but my spouse will have different, my children will have some other, maybe tangentially, very different opinion. Okay. But in offices, as we all know, that we have some opinion, but our colleagues will have something, but our bosses will have a very different opinion. Okay. So since we are living in this society, this kind of difference of opinions or conflicts or whatever you call, this shall not affect our spiritual progress. Because once we start getting into this spaghetti, we will not be able to get out of this, and we will lose the track. For example, like if I want to travel from Alcor to Dukan, then I will start traveling towards Raslafan, so that the whole direction is changed. Instead of going south, if I travel north, I will not be able to reach the destination, and it will be a painful journey. Then we have to keep on going around in order to achieve the progress. So why this is happening is, since actually in this process, the others are troubling us, and we are not able to go through our process, because since we have understood what is spirituality, what is the purpose of birth, or what is the goal of our life, whereas the other people have not understood the same. So it is actually our responsibility to be in this kind of tough situation, or and then we have to still achieve the goal of our life. So it's very difficult. It is easier said than done, because since they haven't understood what is the goal of life, their actions need not be in unison with what we think. So it's very tough actually. But our Guru Sri Vedatri Maharshi, he has understood this as a very, from the very rudimentary level. Actually, he is one of the few people who said that in order to achieve this purpose of life, one need not sacrifice everything, go to a forest and do penance or meditation in order to achieve this purpose of life. So what Maharishi says is, and he has demonstrated himself that being a family man, and even after having two wives, he was able to demonstrate to us and to the world that spirituality is not it, and it will not be affected by family life. So he led by an example. He did not preach us that you should be in a family to achieve spiritual progress. He lived his life as a family till the end, and then still he is able to achieve this spiritual progress. And what Maharishi says is, actually, he did not give us only preaching, he devised us practices in order to achieve this. And one of the main thing in this is mental health. So what Maharishi says is, mental health is one of the very important things in order to achieve this. And what he says is, we have to start the introspection, which is looking inwards from the family only. Okay. And we have to understand one thing: the purpose of, or the goal of WCSC, World Community Service Center, which was formed by our Guru, is to achieve world peace. And he clearly understood that world peace cannot be achieved by without attaining the individual peace. Because if I am not peaceful, I will not be, I will not allow the people around me to be in peace. So always there will be conflicts, in difference of in opinion, and we all will be fighting among each other instead of living in harmony. And if we all ask ourselves, do we have peace around us? Uh, we will all say that, very, very few will say that, yes, I am living in a peaceful atmosphere, whether at home or at office or everywhere. We all have our problems with everybody around us, but only the degree will vary. But for a learned person, or a jnani, or a self-realized person, there will not be the problem, because A Jnani is one who leads life without conflicts, and he or she will achieve what he thinks, what or they will be thinking only about what can be achieved. Okay. So what Maharishi says is harmony in family life is indispensable for family for the spiritual progress. What he says is the valid test for one's wisdom is whether that person's family is living in peace or harmony. So if the family of any individual is living in peace and harmony, that means that individual has attained that kind of progress by which he or she is able to keep that family in peace or in harmony. So let us go through this topic little briefly. We all know that jnani or the wisdom, the persons who have attained wisdom is able to live without conflicts. Why? Because the the people who have attained wisdom does not live by emotions. We all by nature, we humans are emotional. We know why we are emotional because we all wanted to achieve what we want or what we think. So in this process, the ego comes in this process. So ego means me, I and mine. So when this comes, wisdom goes for the task. So we all know that when we are in this emotional state, we stop thinking logically and we start enforcing upon people what we think is right without any logic. So for this, Maharshi has clearly given the practices, and and we all have understood about the mental frequency like beta, alpha, theta, delta. Normally, people are in beta state, which is emotional state, the mental frequency more than 14. So all first Maharishi gave this practice like we have to bring our mental frequency below 14, which is agna. Once we are in that state, so that means the key to be in wisdom or the key to be not emotional is to be in awareness state. So that awareness state is given by Agna meditation, by the initiation. So we should not be in the emotional state of mind. So once we are in the emotional state of mind, we will lose our senses, means our logical senses, and we will impose what is our what we think right is upon others. So this starts creating conflicts, or we lose our peace of mind. So first, let us understand about what is family. Maharishi has very clearly defined what is family. Family is nothing but self, spouse, children, and the parents of both spouse, husband and wife. So this is the family. So Maharishi has clearly defined, even though we have siblings, relatives, and all, family means this is the defined as a family. So what causes disharmony in the family is conflicts. Conflicts means difference of opinion because no two individuals think alike. So when they start finding fault with others, then this will lead to conflict and a difference of opinion, and our peace or harmony is gone for. Okay, so we have to avoid conflicts. Actually, we all know that conflicts does not arise out of nothing. So there are reasons for conflicts, and Maharishi has very clearly defined what are the reasons for the conflict. There are four reasons for the conflict. The first one is need. For example, let us take an example of buying a car. For example, okay. So whether to buy a car or not, that can become the reason of the conflict. The spouse can tell that we don't have to buy the car now since we have come to this country for the first time. We don't have to spend that money now. We can do it later. So the need itself is contested by the other person in the family. Next is quantity. So some people say that, okay, I also want a car and for both. So this also can create conflict in the family. And then quality. For example, whether I get this brand of car or that brand of car or 8 cylinder, 6 cylinder, 4 cylinder, a coupe or a SUV. So this will also create a conflict on time. So whether we can buy today or maybe we can buy after 6 months or 1 year. So this time also will lead to conflicts. So if we understand this, what are the reasons of the conflict? Like need, quantity, quality, and time, we will be able to deal with the situation as it arises because this is so dynamic. There is no one rule or one rule fits for all the situation. So if we are in, that is why Maharishi insists that we have to be in the awareness state. So first, we should not speak and think. We were doing this actually, my personal experience also. We will speak first. Okay, you will not think about anything. You will keep on speaking talking what you want, and then you won't even bother about what you spoke. And then slowly, when you start thinking about after speaking something, when you start thinking, okay, I said something which should not be told. So that means we are really progressing towards the right direction. Because many people don't bother about or don't think about what they speak. They keep on speaking, thinking what is right. So this practice gives first I started thinking means after speaking thinking about, okay, I said something, maybe I can ask sorry to the person, or I will try to correct myself when I speak the next time in the similar situation. And then the next state is think before you speak, so that we will not speak what we think right, and we will speak what is right for the situation. So for this, we need to be in awareness state. Once we are in awareness state, we can avoid this kind of conflicts because being emotional is the reason for this kind of conflicts. So and then we know that we are entering into this kind of situation. So we understand that why we are in this kind of situation, and Maharishi has clearly explained what is to be not done or what is to be avoided in order to avoid conflicts, which is really practical. We need these kind of practical things, which was not explained by everybody before Maharishi. Means people have written before this in very bombastic words or poems or anything. But our Guru has simplified everything and he has given it in a very, very simple manner for us to understand. So first, we should not have, we should not comment each other. So no comment, no command, and no demand. Sorry. So no comments, no command, and no demand. For example, we don't have to pass comments for everything amongst the family members, like what you say is right or wrong. And we should not command each other, like we all, the spouses are having equal rights, even though people are talking about equal rights, but Maharishi says that very clearly what is the reason we should not do it. And then no demand. So we cannot be demanding everything every time. So if we avoid these three, no comments, no command, no demand, we all we all would have gone through this, or we are going through this situation every day in our life. So if we just introspect ourselves, had he not commented like this something yesterday, when so for example, when our spouse brings coffee, just we would have passed some comment. Ah, this is like a hot water. It is not like coffee. Okay. So this would have hurt her, and without even thinking, we would have told. So next time we should avoid this. No command. For example, by sitting in a hall, okay, give me a coffee. This kind of commanding also is to be avoided. So when we understand this, it is very clear that we will be avoiding this in the future. So okay, we know what is conflict and what is to be done to avoid this, and Maharishi has given clearly what is required to bring or peace or harmony in the family. The first is tolerance. So the literal meaning of tolerance is willingness to accept feelings, habits, or beliefs that are different from your own. Okay. So this is like we have to tolerate. For example, if one of the spouse is so fond of perfume, whereas the other one may not like this. Okay. So if we start commenting on this, so the tolerance or we have to tolerate each other. This is we can consider this as one of the example of tolerance. Adjustment, or for example, tolerance can be movie, or you may like one hero, your spouse may like the other hero. You will be forced to sit and watch the movie along with your spouse, even though you may not like that movie or hero or director or whatever it is. You will be tolerating and you will be watching this. And then the next one is adjustment. The what is adjustment is process of adapting or getting used to new situation. So we all know that our life is full of evolving situations which we will not even think of. So you have to adapt yourself or getting used to the new situation. For example, one of the spouse may not like very cold temperatures at home, whereas the other one will want to keep the air conditioner at say 22 degree instead of 25 degree. So if we start commenting on this, or if we start, this is a source of conflict which can happen or which is happening day to day in many of the houses. So we have to, there is adjustment. Once we are following this adjustment, conflicts will reduce. And then the sacrifice. So sacrifice, what is the meaning of sacrifice? Act of giving up something that is valuable to you in order to help someone else. So this sacrifice, for example, it can be told that if one of the spouse is having an issue, maybe by giving one of the kidneys, or this is one of the this is an example for sacrifice. And then next, on Maharishi says that in education, actually first lessons are taught and then exam is we have to write the exam. But in family, first there will be exam and then you will learn the lessons. And one more thing he says is the family is the greatest university in the world to teach or to learn lessons. So the family has been, he has kept the family in the highest esteem, and he has explained clearly how we can achieve like the God realization even within a family life. Then what are the solutions? And then see, actually avoiding ego. So what is ego? We all know what is ego. Ego is I and mine. I and mine means what I tell is right or what I do is right. Others are not right. So this we have to avoid. So we know what is the issue of ego. Ego ultimately, I and mine, it leads to six bad temperaments, and then which leads to five sins. So we have Maharishi has very clearly given six temperaments and five sins. There is a separate lesson on this. So once we have ego, this is going to come. So we have to avoid ego. And what Maharishi says is there will be differences among spouse. There is no way we cannot have any difference of opinion. But the key what Maharishi says is we have to resolve the difference of opinions as early as possible, which means it can happen immediately. You can say sorry, maybe this should not have happened. Probably things will get diffused very easily. Or what Maharishi says is at least before going to bed, this has to be discussed and resolved because why he said is very clear. Any negative, any exchange of negative magnet, because we all know that we have magnetism. Our thought is a magnetic force, and then any exchange of negative thoughts is not good for the family. And Maharishi says that if there is an exchange of negative thoughts between the husband and wife, what he says is their children cannot achieve the progress in life. We are all here because we want to make our children grow up in their life to achieve something more than what we have achieved. In this process, if we start having fight among us, husband, parents, then without even realizing that we are doing disservice or we are actually going in the reverse direction. Okay, we have put a reverse gear and we want to go in the forward direction. How is it going to happen? We are become so naive and so forgetful, and we are if we are doing this, then we will not allow our children to progress. So Maharishi says that we have to resolve this as early as possible. And then what he says is husband and wife relationship shall be like it is should be friendly, because when somebody asks what is the greatest relation in the world is, he didn't tell about mother and son. He said that husband and wife is the greatest relationship in this world, because he has understood clearly why this is important. And the reason is, like we discussed a few minutes back, that the key, if there is a negative exchange of negative thoughts, it is going to affect the family, it is going to affect. Okay. And what he has done is, he didn't say that simply husband and wife relation is important, and he has kept a practice. He gave a practice of this exchange of magnetism as a part of wife appreciation day. And we all know that we have Mother's Day, Father's Day, this day, that day, and Maharishi only he introduced this wife appreciation day, because on the day on which we all practice this meditation, where we hold the hand of the couple and then we exchange our magnetic waves. And then we actually we have heard in this, many people are told that I have not seen my wife's eyes directly like this for the past 25 years or 10 years. So this is something like the first time I am doing this. So many people have shared this as an unique experience. And if you have followed this practice of wife appreciation day, you would have understood what is exactly mean. And if not, probably you have to follow the next time when this event happens. And he says that not only on this day, every day we have to follow this. And this day was just given to emphasize the importance of this. And then the next thing is, we have to avoid anger and we have to think about the good things only. Suppose if there is always there will be a conflict, there will be a difference of opinion. And if I think only about the good things my wife did for me and not about the recent problem which happened a few minutes back, then I will stop thinking about the negative, and we will think only about the positive things. So thinking about positive things always is good for anything, instead of going around wrong things and then creating more and more trouble for all of us. And what Maharishi says is, even in the family life, the opinion of partners are more important in order to have the harmony or peace in life. And what Maharishi says is, in order to achieve this, we need physical health, mental wealth, and material wealth is also important. Just think about it. If physical health, let us take, if we are not well or somebody is sick, then we will have a problem. Always there will be disharmony, because if the partner is not well, probably we will not be able to get food on time. There will be disturbance, and we will not be able to live in harmony. So physical health is important, and Maharishi has given us beautiful simplified physical exercises for physical health, and also for and the Kayakalpa practices to keep ourselves fit and young for life. And then mental health. Mental health is, he has given us a lot of practices, meditation, introspection. And then during this introspection, we all understand. And then we have this, who am I? So once we understand who am I, then we will all be very clear that there is no difference between two individuals. So what is there within me is there in the other person also. So with this kind of high moral understanding is there, then the conflicts will be very, very less. And then, of course, material wealth, because we need wealth in order to live in this lead a life. For example, you need a good clothes, you need shelter, you need food, you need commuting for a vehicle for commuting, you need all these things. So without this material wealth, there will not be it will not be possible for family peace. For example, if there is no proper income, then how can there be peace in that family? Definitely, it cannot be there, because there will be children. Children will be hungry. So we all understand what is the importance of wealth, but we shall not, or we should not run behind the wealth only by compromising our physical health or mental health. So Maharishi has very clearly explained about this three: physical health, mental health, and material wealth, their importance, how we have to achieve this for this one, for achieving the family peace. Then what he says is, Maharishi says, there should not be any secrets or separate transactions. So once we just, if you analyze this or if you introspect this, we all understand what is the real meaning of this. If we are trying to hide something, or if we are trying to hide the transactions, it is not going to definitely create harmony. It will lead to only conflict. So we have to definitely avoid this. And then Maharishi, we have to be spendthrift, meaning we should not spend more than what we earn. Because if we start accumulating debt, because this recent trend of credit culture or trying to copy others, when we start living for others, for example, if if our neighbor is having something, and if one of the spouse is trying to copycat that, if they are having, we should have; if they are doing this, we have to do this. If we try to do this kind of competitive life, then we will be forced to spend more than our income. So we have seen many movies, or we have heard stories about this, how this kind of competitive culture has ruined many people's lives, or created conflicts in their family. So we have to spend less than what we earn, and we have to live a debt-free life. This will lead to peace and harmony in life. Then what Maharishi says is, we have to understand each other. So in order to understand each other, we have to respect, and then we have to respect the others' opinion and feelings. It is not only opinion. Maharishi says we have to respect the feelings of others, which normally we don't do. Okay, so opinion, we will respect each other, we can understand each other, but we have to respect the feelings also of the life partner, which we normally miss before. But if we introspect ourselves, the practitioners of Sky, we all will understand that, even though if not fully, we have slowly started adapting towards this kind of solutions in order to avoid the or to bring harmony in life. So, so far what we have gone through is, we first understood what is the topic, means the literal words of the topic today, which is indispensable for spiritual progress. And then we discuss about what is family, what is harmony, what is the need of harmony in family life, and why we get conflicts, what are the reasons for the conflicts, and then what are needed for do's and don'ts also we learn, like what is not needed, what should be avoided, like commanding, okay, demanding, and then what is needed for the family peace, which is tolerance, acceptance, and sacrifice. And then we have gone through this, what are the solution. So Maharishi has not only provided us only the lessons for what are the problems, but he has given us all the practical lessons how to adapt this and how to avoid conflicts in life. So I will just read what is Maharishi's quote about this before we conclude this session. What Maharishi has given is, we have come into this world for the sole purpose of crossing the ocean of birth and merging with the Absolute. Harmony in family life is indispensable for this glorious purpose to be fulfilled. The energy required for this should not be drained through disharmony. So he says that he has established the healthy understanding and coordination between parents and children. And he said that this powerful sky practices will help us to achieve this harmony. So, by understanding this, by practicing sky practices, and then we will achieve the harmony in family life, by which we will be able to achieve the ultimate purpose of birth, which is self-realization and God realization. Let's all practice this on a day-to-day basis. Let us not keep it only as a reading material. We should practice this and we shall achieve what Maharshi has taught us, harmony in family life, so that we can progress spiritually. This I will conclude my lecture. Be blessed by the event. Thank you very much for this wonderful opportunity.